Slam as well as the Slardar. Now, the little bit of extra vision can be purged off, of course, using the Dark Pact, but if he casts it timely, the Slark can be really hindered in his ability to run around a team fight and get in and out of engagements using that amp damage. They are going to be a lot on the back of the Slark, as you mentioned, with the Empower and the Bloodlust going his way, but at least that'll allow him to build defensively because of all the extra buff up. He can probably rush a BKB here and look to take the fight to the face of the Earthshaker and Slardar, who otherwise would be pretty damn good into him, though XPC does have the insurance policy that is the lasso if he does go that route.
Okay, so XPC, they're a little bit more well-balanced, mostly because they have ranged heroes, but still, their control isn't really the best over these lanes, with Shaker being one of those support heroes. He's fine in small bursts, but other than that, he doesn't apply any consistent pressure. Mid lane, probably going to be Mag versus Shadow Fiend, which is a relatively even lane as well, so even though Basically Unknown are very melee heavy, and that has its disadvantages, it's not really going to be punished as much as it can possibly be punished by XPC. Lion is going to be banned out along with that Dazzle. BU, really, at the bare minimum, it doesn't really matter what they pick as long as the range hero, they should be fine with it. And maybe a Rubik to help control up the enemies a little bit more should be the name of the game. Stealing a Fissure can win you a fight. But for XPC, they're also looking for the secondary support hero. It's going to be that Zeus, trying to burst down that Slark perhaps. They have a lot of anti-invis tech, and hey, it's a ranged hero who does do decently at punishing melees.
Yeah, I would have liked to see the Disruptor that you mentioned earlier a little bit better against the Clockwork and the Magnus, but either way, the Zeus does give them a little bit of vision. Of course, vision is the bane of a Slark, so that's pretty nice for them. We saw it used to great effect the last series, and the Slardar are going to help with that as well. So I don't mind the pickup here, although it is going to be pretty weak in the terms of the laning stage for XPC. Earthshaker generally doesn't sit in one lane. He's often roaming around. Zeus, not the strongest in lane either, so look for this Clockwork to have a pretty damn good time in the offlane.
Yeah, you can cancel out a lot of these spell casts for XPC. They take a long time to cast all of their spells, really. Earthshaker, of course, everyone knows about that one, but even Shadow Fiend, Slardar can have maybe not as much fun up against Clockworks as they would really like. And then for Basically Unknown, they grab a Lich. It's another part of that Voltron combo. I guess it's like the armor plating, right? You got the rocket launcher hands, the flamethrower hands, and then the armor plating from the frost armor. But it's a ranged hero, so that's good. They needed the range. But also, it's a hero that actually can help very consistently control the lanes, and if he gets nothing, as Liches usually do, they're usually just completely fine with that. So I really like the pick here for Basically Unknown.
Yeah, they can even run duels if they choose to do so. I mean, the melee heaviness from their side probably would dissuade them from running dual lanes a little bit, but either way, as you mentioned, it's good to keep the creep equilibrium back. A lot of these heroes should get a bunch out of lane, but it's almost like XPC strat. Let's just 5-man on Slark all game long, because Ice Armor, Bloodlust, and Power, all their eggs are certainly in one basket for BU, but they're not worried about showing their hand. Obviously, they're very confident in what it has to bring to the table.
And if you're going to be Voltroning up one particular hero, Slark is definitely at the close to the top of the list. Like, he's melee, of course, so he gets the cleave, and if he survives for a little bit in those fights, then the essence shift is just going to add to the problem that is already there with the Empower as well as the Bloodlust. So Slark, if he does go down, then Basically Unknown, yeah, they're pretty much just screwed, because their damage output then drops to 0 or close to 0. They have a little bit of magic damage output. There's always the dream of RP into Chain Frost, but really, it's this Slark that's going to be providing the physical damage. So they have to keep him alive. They have to get him his farm. Whereas for XPC, they have their damage output split a little bit between the Shadow Fiend, between the Slardar, even the Zeus. And with all this minus armor, hell, even if the Earthshaker gets a couple of levels, he could be hitting pretty hard as well. So XPC are definitely a lot more balanced than Unknown side. But I just love seeing strategies like this. I don't know if they're good. I just know that they're entertaining.
Yeah, and I've seen Neagle Baby Slark quite a bit, and even without all of the buff up from his team, he's pretty damn proficient on this hero. He really has a good knack of knowing when to jump in and out of engagements, so we'll see if he gets a little bit over arrogant here with all the backup and maybe hangs around too long in some of these engagements with all the vision available to XPC, but generally speaking, I would say he's pretty damn diligent about knowing when to jump in and out, and that should help him out in these team fights.
Alright guys, so while we're sitting here in this pause state, just going to catch you up in the for the entirety of this tournament. XPC versus Unknown are eventually going to be going up against the winner of Commanda or Molodaya Commanda. It's not Commanda Minus anymore. I think it's the same team. No, it's not. That's a completely different team. But yeah, that's going to be happening in the future versus My Insanity. And the winner of that is going to be facing up against the winner of this one. So we're at a different portion of the bracket. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Only one team has been eliminated thus far. Still very young is the tournament. So hopefully we will see a lot of good Dota. Thank you guys again for coming in and watching the games. It does mean a lot for you guys to show the support. Ticket, unfortunately, is still not available. But if Volvo gets off their fat asses, then soon it'll be up soon.
Gaben, please. Gaben, please, indeed. But either way, we'll hop into this one. Hopefully, we can get this underway. The first series was a bit delayed, scheduling a little bit tight as well. So glad to finally be able to bring this one to you. Do have a DC from the Slark, or the Slardar, I should say. Hopefully, he'll get back in, and then we can see who really is the king of the sea. Slardar up against Slark in this one.
No Naga, no Tidehunter. There could be more fish. The entire fish lineup, though, that just sucks, guys. You might want to do it because it's like thematic and everything, but it's terrible. Too many melee heroes.
I think Team Spirit is a lot better than Team Fish, but it remains to be seen. Storm Spirit, Ember Spirit, Earth Spirit, Spirit Breaker, Vengeful Spirit. Yeah.
But the Spirit Breaker doesn't want to be with those The spirits don't want to be with Spirit Breaker. That just seems dangerous for them.
Yeah, it's a little risky, volatile combo there, but sometimes, smells like Team Spirit can prevail. But we have 3 DCs coming out from the side of XPC Romania. Hoping this is not a remake, but either way, not looking pretty grim early on.
Yeah, so that's hopefully going to be a game that just turns out normal after this. You got to have some pauses, man. Can't have everything run too smoothly. On the subject of weird comps, you remember when EG used to run like the night comp? That actually used to be a thing. It was like old EG, but that used to be a thing.
Who was part of that?
The players. That was like
Night.
Yeah, Chaos Knight. You get Chen, who is in Dota Holy Knight. You get Sven, who is Rogue Knight.
Rogue Knight, yeah.
You get Dragon Knight, and then I think they just ran some other rando. But it was the thought was there.
4 knights and a sea captain. But either way, yeah, another thing to touch on if you guys weren't here for the first series, couple new teams in this tournament that are really stacked in terms of star power. You mentioned Molodaya Commanda. That's Sedoy's new team, along with Vanscore, Solo, Scandal, and a youngin from, I think the Ukrainian scene might be Russia, Uba. And then there's 4 Clovers and Leprechaun, which is Gold Black, Yol, BZZ, Hani, and Sexy Bamboo. So really excited to see those 2 teams. Definitely throw a follow on the Yardfest stream, because when those games come up, it'll be certainly a spectacle for a Dota 2.
And just outside of those newer names, you got the more established ones: Power Rangers, BBC, Flipside, Vega are in this tournament as well. Some all-star teams, guys. So it should be good if we could ever get to those games, though, because we might just be stuck in this one forever, Yeah,
it's been a long day, but we've had some good games come out for sure. If you haven't already, the VODs will be up at some point for that first series. Sing Sing coming back, and his team able to triumph over Goomba, and they lost game 1 without him. So Sing Sing, please show up for every game so we can win.
Turns out Sing Sing is a good player. Who would have thought?
Honestly,
that his being in your team actually does help you out.
TF C9. But yeah.
All right, well, we actually have a little bit of a problem here. Something we probably should have addressed before. These players, because this game is not ticketed, are not exactly going to be what they say they are. Dumpster Player, I'm pretty sure that's a Rise.
Pretty sure that's me, Dumpster Player.
That's you? Okay. Well, then MRP is going to be playing the Magnus. Everyone else is fine on Unknown except for C. Tomehei, who I'm pretty sure is Insolent.
Yeah, it would make sense. It would make sense.
But we're not 100% sure on that. And for XPC, things will get a little bit worse, because we're going to be guessing a little bit more with these guys. Keanu's Keanu. Illusionist, I'm pretty sure is Illusionist. Cancel is not actually Cancel. That's not a real player. Red Light Dota is also, I'm pretty sure, not a real... No, Red Light is Red Light. And DSAS, I have no idea who this is. So, yeah, XPC, they don't have their official names up. So that could be a little bit confusing down the line.
Yeah, hopefully we'll get the ticket up for you guys soon. Rage at Volvo. Now we riot. But yeah, Arise playing on the Magnus only makes sense. That's his set too from the last few times I've watched him. So looks like we may have a remake here, change up on the servers. Definitely stay tuned. Should be a good one. Pretty well matched teams here.
All right, guys, we're just going to jump right back to the waiting screen, but we'll be right back with hopefully a properly remade game on the right server. We're back. And we're going to hopefully get off to a proper game. I didn't look at the items and loadouts and everything like that. I'm going to assume that everyone is going to be getting the same thing as what they originally purchased. But here we go. Game for real, and hopefully that's not going to be the... hopefully that's going to be the last pause of the game. But let's see who's going to be playing what for the basically unknown side. Got Mind Control on the clock. Pure Evil is on the Lich. Arise is on the Mag. Nico is on the Slark. And that leaves Insolent or Si Tomahe on the Ogre Magi.
I love that name. Si Tomahe. Sounds so tribal. Either way, on the other side,
right.
XPC Romania, we got DSAS, not to be confused with DDoS on the Batrider. That's going to leave KNO on the Zeus and over on the high ground. Red Light playing on the Slark Illusionist on the Earthshaker, and whatever his name is, Cancel playing on the SF.
I mean, these names are easy enough, I guess, from XPC, even though they may not be their
easy
official
but deceptive.
Yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's fine, guys. Anyway, Unknown looking to grab this bottom rune and scout out whoever grabs the top one as well. Mind Control going in, though. Fissure is there. We'll grab Cancel that rune. Cogs go up to do nothing. And it's going to be even bounty runes for what looks like the mid lane players. Mag definitely going to get a lot of help from that. Quick bottle on Mag, and that's, well, step one to surviving your lane versus the Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, the Shockwave going to help a lot with him last hitting, and also even harassing up Cancel. Cancel not skilling that raise over when the cogs were popped over by the river, so good on him. He'll be able to pick up the last hit advantage, presumably pretty quickly in this one.
Well, it is a rise to grab Empower at level 1, which is really not the normal thing to do for Magnuses, but when you're going up against a Shadow Fiend, the early levels, when you're trying to fill up on that soul meter, are so important. So this is when you really want to have that additional boost in damage. And we can already see Cancel is actually holding on to no CS right now, whereas Rise 2-3 now is completely locking down this Shadow Fiend with just one skill point. That's efficiency right there. And that's not something that every player would actually do. Just grab the Empower, go deviate from your norm in order to very heavily shut down the opposing mid laner.
Yeah, Mind Control taking a little bit of harass top lane. Has to burn his salve already. So a few right clicks coming through from Red Light with a crush as well. So they get a little bit of a regen advantage from the Dire side, but should be a pretty even lane for the most part. Bot lane, DSAS trading hits over with the Ogre Magi and giving some space over to Nico, baby.
The bottom lane for Unknown should be loading up on their sticks soon enough. Ogre Magi loves that extra mana since he can do stuff like this. Just ignite, charge the Batrider, and then do some damage there. And of course, Slark, he loves the extra mana and sustain as well. Though DSAS going up against two melee heroes, we can already see kind of the weakness of basically Unknown's draft. With all these melee heroes, they're not able to effectively push this Batrider out of lane. So experience more or less guaranteed from this Batrider.
Yeah, they really can't get in range to do enough in order to lock him down. Kiano going to get caught out by the river. The Fissure will be there on the Son of Magnus, though. Arise running to the north. Arc Lightning going to bring him low. Maybe he gets denied to the creeps here as he runs uphill, but it looks like he will be chased down. Arc Lightning still low on mana is the Zeus. No Skewer available to Arise. Does have one more bottle charge, but he is going to be run into by the Zeus here. He's going to try and tango up. Can cancel that Clarity. Will do so. Arc Lightning available. They need a couple of right clicks in order to bring him down. The raise, though, from the low ground will be there. Kano on the Zeus. Going to find that first blood on Arise.
Yeah, when you get that far out of position with no points in Skier to boot, then you're pretty much shit out of luck. It is, I guess, the downside of going for that Empower. If you went for a quote-unquote normal build on Magnus, then probably he survives that. But then again, the Shadow Fiend would be having a much better time in lane. So you get your trade-offs there. Arise is going to be first blood, and it is going to be the Zeus to draw it. That's a very early soul ring for Keanu, and this is a lot of harassment damage that's going to be thrown towards these predominantly melee heroes of basically Unknown. This is, I mean, obviously you would like to have the Shadow Fiend grab that first blood, but Zeus is the next best thing. Arise is going to land a skewer onto Cancel, put some serious damage into the Shadow Fiend. He has boots on the mag, and the Shadow Fiend does not, but it looks like he will call it quits.
Yeah, DSOS just soaking some XP bot lane in the tree line. The Ogre Magi's rotated out towards the mid. They're going to look to find Cancel here, but he's bottle crowing, so he's sitting up real healthy in the mid lane. Don't know if they have quite enough firepower yet, and it's a pretty risky dive under the tower, having only that small range on Fire Blast now.
Well, the creep wave is incoming. Cancel is going to get hit with an Ignite Shockwave as well. Skewer available, and they will bring him right out from the tower. Suddenly, no tower protection, and Cancel is doomed to fall right now, and it will be Arise to grab that kill. Pretty much perfectly executed. You would think that they would take a lot more damage from a dive like that, but the creeps were arriving at the exact same time as Ogre made his approach in, so they timed it perfectly. They stunned him up perfectly, and well, once you drag him out of tower range, then there's no more protection there for the Shadow Fiend. So Arise gets a little bit of revenge for his previous death, and the Ogre Magi ain't done yet. He has mana enough for one skill, will throw it towards the Batrider, who has no Firefly, stuck in a corner, is forced to TP out. That's actually a pretty nice win for the Ogre Magi. Use an Ignite 100 mana for 100 gold. That's very much so worth it.
Yeah, actually, Nico took a lot of damage from that Batrider when the Ogre went in mid. He pounced into him and had 3 napalm charges, so just Fireflied up, but then having that on cooldown, not able to make it away. Good play by the Ogre, forcing him out of lane.
Yeah, but Nico was pretty much prepared for that. Like, when you open up with a Salve and 2 stacks of Tangos, that does indicate that you're not expecting that much help from your supports. And I think it's reasonable to assume that. First of all, it's 2 melee versus Batrider. Not really the best of lanes for the 2 melee side, but also it's an Ogre Magi who is very, very likely to roam and loves to roam, especially when you could roam right into a Shadow Fiend. So Nico left alone by himself without much help, but with a lot of regen, so that he could take those hits and shrug them off. And once he gets to level 6, he's good to go. He doesn't need that extra regen because he has that passive in his ultimate for the regen. So he's closing on to that one, and then he'll be perfectly self-sufficient in this bottom lane. Sitomahe, he's teleported over towards mid. He's spotted, however, by an observer ward, so Cancel should not be dying here. And if he does, then it'll come off the back of an amazing play from BU. Actually, no, the Ogre, he's going deep. He's going to find the Batrider, Fire Blast, and maybe a little bit of help from the neutrals as well. DSOS is going to burn. It's going to be close. 80 HP, he gets to live. In the meantime, he's blocked up by the Earthshaker. Raise 1, going to miss. And it looks like Ogre Magi is going to be free and clear. But again, he's making sure that this Batrider's life is a living hell.
Yeah, the fact that their Ogre can rotate around and they can leave the Lich in the off lane with mind control, and yet Nico Baby is leading the CS chart really bodes well for BU here. We'll see an engagement mid. The Fisher going to block out Arise and Sitomahe from going any further. Then Ignite will get out, though. Mind Control going to be here with the Cogs, and they're dropping Cancel very low. Rocket Flare, one more right click, going to finish him off. Haste Rune pop by Arise as well. He's got an RP available. He's going to skewer forward. The RP is going to land onto 2. No mana for the Shockwave just yet, though, and with Mind Control already using his full toolkit, they can't progress any further. They will get the mana burned from DSOS twice, actually, from those Cogs.
Well, even though it was a little bit of a wasted RP there from Arise, end result, still they get a Shadow Fiend kill, and in the meantime, bottom lane Nico under absolutely no pressure. It's a 6-minute Blink Dagger, and the Batrider can be farming this lane side by side the Slark, but instead he's off in the jungle having a rough time. So for basically Unknown, their early start to this game has gone off pretty darn well. Level 5 on that Clockwork, and if you're XPC, you don't really expect a level 5 Clockwork to be making any ganks anytime soon. It's really level 6 at the very least. Usually it's level 7, 8, closer to that when the Clockwork is more willing to leave the lane, but Battery Assault is such an efficient damage tool, especially when you catch a one-man Cog, that, hell, he could even go for the Slardar right now and play aggressively there, but instead the aggression is going to be placed over towards mid. They see Keanu, they see Cancel, in a 2v2, Unknown with their tankiness. This is really when they get away with all these melee heroes. They get into these constant brawls.
Yeah, no RP available for Arise here, but Cancel's still pretty damn squishy at this point. Wraithband and Bottle only available to him. You see the Shockwave take about 1/3 of his health away there, and a couple of those spams and the Ogre rotating in. Cancel needs to be really careful. He gets the Ignite thrown out on him, will run to the north. Big bolt into Sitomahe from KNO, and the TP rotations are going to come in as well from Illusionist. Fisher's going to catch him. Arc Lightning is there, but the Bottle Charge from Arise keeps him alive, though. The Thunderbolt will be the nail in the coffin for that Ogre. And finally, a return kill found in that mid lane from XPC.
Ogre Magi just getting a little bit uppity. When you're in that position, you're like, okay, guys, we gotta go right now because we're running out of time. They're gonna see me eventually. So he ends up going and in the wrong place at the wrong time. XPC bringing the cavalry, namely in that shaker. It was a very close, almost save from Arise using that bottle charge in the Ogre Magi. It would have maybe in a different day worked, but not today. It's instead going to be Mind Control who's on the hunt. Unfortunately, he can't kill off this Bat Rider because he just fly over the cogs. However, if you go more to the right, there's a Shadow Fiend waiting for you, Mind Control. Oh, he's not going to see the Shadow Fiend, I think. He's just short in vision. Unless he wants to throw out a blind hook shot, he's not going to catch him. So a little bit of a missed opportunity there for Mind Control, but still, this Bat Rider is going to drop a little bit low from these neutrals. He has the Ogre Magi incoming. Mind Control can still look for this kill once the Firefly runs out. And it's running out very, very quickly. Bat Rider going to lose some experience. Mind Control absorbing it. Now here comes the Battery Assault. Ogre Magi is closing in as well. MC just working away. Only level 2 Battery Assault, but it almost doesn't matter because it's such an efficient damage tool. A level 2 skill with a couple right clicks. 100 to 0. Now a Smoke Up. They're looking to look for more. And it might be on
Such
cancel. He's going to
economical
rotate
play.
in.
Yeah, such economical play as well from MC. Doesn't use that hook shot. Now they may have caught a glimpse of Cancel as well. Who's going to go farm this up right after his comrade dies, and now the Ignite is there. Fire Blast as well, trapped in the cogs. Battery Assault not even needed. One more right click. Basically what is essentially a double kill going Mind Control's way. That'll put him on a spree. And meanwhile, Pure Evil, given all the space in the world, hits level 7 on the Lich. Nico level 9 with 60 CS on the Slark.
Told the Ogre Magi is pronounced Stomanen? Stomanen. Okay, I'll try to remember that, guys, but no promises. Mind Control still on the hunt with the Ogre Magi. He's actually gone for a third point into Rocket Flare. Usually it's for Clockwork. I'm going to be building Battery Assault unless I need to get Rocket Flare for some other reason, and we could already see how effective he's actually performing with this level 2 Battery Assault. I would have thought he would have gone for a very quick level 3, level 4, but instead, Mind Control, he's going to look to snipe some people out, and already with the mag packing a Blink Dagger, it's a very real possibility. Right now, Arise just sitting on a rune, and, well, Nico is also farming down towards bottom. But I think it's just a matter of time before Arise actually gets a Blink Skewer onto someone, or Mind Control finds another kill. You don't play this aggressively as Clockwork if you're not looking for blood. He's going to run to 2 this time. That's about one more here than he really wants to fight. However, he probably can get 1 kill here. It will cost him his life if he does decide to engage there. Gets Illusionist in the cogs, who is going to try to escape. Raises from the outsets with the ultimate from the Zeus and a hook shot in. Mikelorus still alive. He's going to go for a double. So short of that damage, though. Cancel is going to survive, albeit barely. A 1-for-1. But here comes the Ogre Magi, and your life is not safe yet. Cancel. Fire Blast, Ignite with Orb of Venom and Boots. Cancel slowed to a crawl. This should be his death. Stick charges might keep him alive, and it will at 10 HP. Now the lightning damage onto the Ogre Magi with the tower as well. Ogre going in a little bit too deep, and Cancel luckily gets to live.
A little bit of a misplay from Mind Control. He pretty much accepted his death when he got the Earthshaker in the cogs. He did not pop his double damage rune that entire time. Then when he went to hook in on the Shadow Fiend, he pops the double damage rune looking for the kill. If he's able to bring down the Earthshaker with a little bit of health left for himself, he probably gets that Shadow Fiend kill as well. But Thunder God's Wrath proving very effective there, as the Slardar is going to go down and a return kill is going to be found top lane with the use of the RP.
It was actually Chain Frost into Blink RP, so Slardar didn't have much time to react to that. You don't expect a Chain Frost when you're sitting in the middle of your creep wave, so he does end up going down. Skewer, still level 3, still is a potent skill, but man, Unknown, they're getting so much action going on such an early game state, and they're going to jump in towards Illusionist. He's standing still as the Earthshaker. Oh man, you never stand still in Dota. That's how you die, especially versus a Slark. I have no idea what Illusionist was doing right there, but it was a bad idea. Suddenly 2,500 gold in the Slark. Do you go for a Shadow Blade after this Midas? Does it matter? You're so farmed. You can pretty much go for anything.
Yeah, I could definitely pick up the Blink here as well. I mean, the Shadow Blade, certainly a little better versus the Zeus than the Blink is, but there's a lot of detection over on the side of XPC, starting with the Zeus and finishing with the Slardar. So it'll be interesting to see what Nico goes. Maybe a little bit more damage-oriented, but jump in, lasso onto him. Thunderbolt will be there, as well as the Fisher. Thunder God's Wrath committed, and finally, after 12 minutes of free farm, Nico is going to be brought down. Big kill going XPC's way.
He bought a Claymore before he died. I don't think that's going to be Battle Fury, kind of redundant, but they're going to run into Mind Control and Stomanen. They're going to go straight for the Zeus and Illusionist at the exact same time. Shaker is locked in. He's bound to fall. Kiano also got hit with that rocket flare, and he's going to burn to death as well. Instant double. Here comes a Rise, although he's very low already. Will dodge a crush, but that's not going to help him that much. He was being chased down by Cancel the entire time. Mind Control now going to take a beating from Red Light and D-Saws both. Cogs go up, trapping the Bat Rider in, but trapping the Shadow Fiend out. Double Ray is going to get canceled that kill as well. They have to give up on the Ogre Magi, a little bit too tanky. But Unknown bring one too many heroes in. Pure Evil's Chain Frost, or really just Frost Blast, could have done a nice amount of work there. But XPC get away with a pretty decent trade.
Yeah, actually, it's a big one for them. It's almost double the experience differential. If you take a look at the fight recap, it was a 3-for-2 if you include the Slark kill in the beginning. And overall, 3 cores going down from BU for 1 support and a core for the side of XPC. So that's a nice little win that'll kind of get them back in this one. It drags the net worth lead back down to about 3K from almost 5, but still Nico way ahead of the next target in terms of net worth, farming very well.
They haven't even begun to assemble this Voltron that I was mentioning before. Empower is still only level 1. The Bloodlust isn't even leveled up yet. They do have the Ice Armor that is level 3, so Pure Evil is going to be ready on the Ice Armor side of things, but the Slark's late game potential has yet to be tapped into. He's going to get jumped over towards bottom with Shadow Dance and the Pounce. He will be A-OK now with the real form of Invis as well as Mind Control rotating in. Maybe they're going to look for something. They do lose the tower though. Bat Rider is going to claim that one away from basically Unknown, but still Nico with the Shadow Blade is going to be on the hunt, plus Mind Control doing the exact same thing. Although it's 2 towers denied from basically Unknown, that's gotta sting, man. That is a lot of gold out of their pockets.
Yeah, that's a lot of gold denied up from BU there, and perhaps a little bit of misplay from them, not being diligent about keeping those and balling up for them. But either way, they're finding trades elsewhere. Arai's going to go hunting with this invisibility rune, and he's going to walk over a sentry, but there's no vision there to reveal him. So seems like XPC still quite unaware of this, but no vision for the Radiant side except for this ward over by Pure Evil for them to look to make a jump. Lich going to bait things out, but he's going to get jumped on with the Crush and the Fissure, and he'll probably go down here to the Lightning Bolt from Kiano. He does. And no support inbound quite quick enough. They are bringing in the Slark, though. D-Sauce going to be caught out. He's going to get cogged in. He does have the Firefly active, though. The Fire Blast will keep him in place. There's a multicast there, and he'll probably burn down to this Ignite. He does get finished off. Crush, though, is going to land. Thunder God's Wrath going to scout things out as well. Illusionist trying to run away from Nico, and the Rocket Flare going to be just short of this Earthshaker. Dark Pact, though, one more right click. Not quite there for Nico. Jump forward. Shockwave is going to miss, but the Ignite will land on Illusionist. And Stomanen does pick up that kill there. He'll get a Fire Blast 2 times multicast out as well onto the Zeus. Big hook Rocket Flare going to be there from Mind Control. Crush, though, from the high side from Red Light, and the Rays will finish one off. Overall, ends up being a 3-for-2 in BU's favor.
So I remember casting basically Unknown a long time ago, and they had an Ogre Magi player who would roll multicasts every single time.
Magoma.
I don't think this is the same person, but it kind of seems like it. Something about the basically Unknown name just brings out the multicasts, and Stomanen just dropped so many multis. Got a 2x on the Bat Rider, got a 2x to end that fight as well in the Fire Blast, and he got a multicasted Ignite as well that landed on the Zeus. And that one was kind of just a bonus. It didn't really matter after all said and done, but still, man, calm down with the multicast. Make it fair to the XPC side. I mean, XPC, they still took a decent fight. They got away with their Slaughter, who was packing that Blink, and he did do quite a bit of work with that Blink in the past fight. But still Unknown, they're on the aggressive again. They're going to blink forward, look for a skewer back onto Illusionist. That will just fall short, but still, this is freeing up Nico to farm up the bottom lane, and my god is he farming fast. He's at 8,000 net worth, 3,000 or a little bit less than 3,000 ahead of the enemy Shadow Fiend.
Yeah, they're going to mount a push top lane too with the RP available to them. It doesn't seem like XPC is too willing to mount a defense on this top tier 2. They're going to try to find a trade mid lane, but Rocket Flare is going to look to nuke the wave down, does bring it down to half HP. And in terms of the TP situation, the Radiant do have 4 available to them, and Nico, pretty mobile hero, can be able to join the fray as well. So they're going to back off from this T1, pretty much a free tier 1 going BU's way in the top lane.
It's going to extend their gold lead just a little bit more. It's pushing 7,500 right now, sitting solidly at 5k. But again, they haven't really tapped into this potential of the Slark just yet. He's still 2-1-1, but he can get so much more powerful than what he's currently sitting at right now. It's just the other 4 heroes are basically Unknown. Wherever they go, they're getting kills. They're splitting up their focus fire pretty darn well in XPC. Well, their Shadow Fiend is going for a mech. He's doing some decent damage with those raises. and he's going to need that mech to allow his team to survive. But outside of that, there's not much that they have that's actually going for them. They need this Blink Dagger on the bat to get them some more kills, because so far it's not been doing the best. Got a couple on the Slark, or one on the Slark, one on someone else, I believe, but other than that, that's just about been it. So basically Unknown, they're sitting pretty right now. Mech is completed on the Shadow Fiend, but likewise, it's been up on Lich for quite a long time.
Yeah, certainly so, and it seems like XPC are a little bit worried here about the initiation potential from both the Slark with the Shadow Blade and the Blinks and the Hook Shot. They just throw out that Scouting Thunder God's Wrath, and they find Nico alone, but they're not able to queue up any aggression as he was postured up deep defensively behind his own tower. It looks like maybe we look for a push in this bot lane coming from the side of the Radiant.
Well, a direct push right now from basically Unknown is probably the easiest way to actually get killed off. Even though they have the RP and the Chain Frost, their strength is going to be where they look for single target pickoffs, especially when you have a Shadow Blade on Slark, a Hook Shot in the Clockwork. That's really where they should be at their most comfortable. But still, with the advantage they have, I think they probably can get away with it, and they're going to try to. XPC, they're all up on top lane, so I guess that's kind of working out for the basically Unknown side. This tower dropping in a hurry, level only 1 in power on Nico, yet still he's dishing, and this tower is going to get Unknown that much more in the lead. Nico now closing in on to what I only can assume is going to be a BKB in this game, but Thunder God's Wrath can scout everyone out. Still no opportunities here from XPC.
Yeah, it could be an SNY, but I would expect the BKB as well coming out from him with all the spells to buff him up. He's going to get caught out with the lasso, though. They're going to try and drag him up. The TPs are already inbound. Crush, the hook shot is going to disrupt things from Mind Control. RP is going to bring a red light down, but they bring down Nico before that happens. The Chain Frost is going to hit D-Sauce, but he'll be able to get over the high ground, and Pure Evil, taking a lot of damage from the Echo Slam, is still surviving. Cancel catches a Fire Blast, but no further aggression coming out from the Radiant, and Stoneman hanging around a little bit too long is going to get raised down. The Shockwave is going to come through and hit Cancel, but he'll be just fine. Won't tick down to that Ignite, and the tower only going to aggro him very late. Overall, very nice fight for XPC.
It's a 2-for-1. They get their initiation off on the right target, though it seemed like Unknown were jumping into position at just the right time to save their Slark. He was dragged into the edge of the Shadow Fiend's Requiem, and that did just enough damage to actually seal the deal there. It is the Slaughter to die as well for XPC, and in that regard, things could have gone a little bit better, but all things considered, they get the initiation off. They don't take the tower, that's fine, they'll take it later, I'm sure, but for Unknown, they lose the Slark, and this Slark needs to stay alive so that he could actually keep presence around the map with the Shadow Blade. He's on the hunt right now. He's on the hunt for soft Earthshaker meat, and I think he's going to find it as well. One Shadow Blade hit and a pounce, that's all it's going to take. Or, okay, just 3 hits, that's good too. He's going to jump out from the crush. Actually, that'll still stun him, even though I thought he was pacting. Either way, he's going to pact out that Amplify, and he's going to walk away with a very easy kill.
Yeah, they need to buff that Amplify damage. There's no way that Dark Pack should remove that. But either way, Nico going to return to safety. Free pick on the soft Earthshaker meat. And he can reconvene with his team mid lane. They are going to smoke S4 RP available in 10 seconds or so for Arise. But already they're scouting things out mid lane. That's Cancel a little bit far out. Pure Evil not going to jump in without his comrades, though. And they won't be able to go up high ground here. Arise going to look to find either Kiano or Cancel.
Mind Control has his hook shot, Arise has his RP and a skewer. They hook shot in, they find Kiano, who got way too far ahead of the rest of his team, blown up with a multicast. They also see Cancel. Arise looking for an angle, RP gonna skewer him right back into the clutches of his entire team. Requiem's gonna be charged back there as well, but the Death Requiem will be the only thing that'll fire off, and Slark will draw that kill. Unknown might get initiated upon by a Batrider from the high ground, but XPC only have 3 heroes right now. Even if they do get a lasso in, the best they could hope for is a pick off and a retreat. But the odds of that happening very low. So Unknown get a 2-for-0, and they're still just going to go ahead and push this tower. Until Shadow Fiend is back up, XPC are going to be unwilling to defend.
Yeah, this should be tier 2 without contest. The glyph is available to the Dire side, and the Shadow Fiend does have buyback, but definitely doesn't want to expend it 22 minutes in. Working on his BKB on top of his mech is still quite a ways away from that, so they'll concede this tier 2. And Nico going to pick up the last hit on that once again. He's ferrying out an item to him. That will be the full completed BKB. 22 minutes in on top of his Midas Shadow Blade for Nico.
That's some ridiculous amounts of farm on this Slark, and well, he is going for that defensive item that you mentioned before because he has so much amplification from his team. And his team, they're also not doing a terrible job on their farm either. Mag has his Force Staff, has his Blink Dagger, and the Clockwork, oh, he's a little bit further behind the rest of his buddies. Still has his Blade Mail, so he's able to jump in with more or less impunity and really just dare any of the AoE from XPC to be thrown towards him. And for XPC, really, it's only the Slardar who can control when he hits Mind Control. Everyone else, they're going to be throwing AoE rather willy-nilly, like Firefly, Echo Slam, Fissure, Bolts, and Thunder God's Wrath, like, and the Requiem. These all will hurt a lot on XPC's side if they intentionally, or if they don't intentionally not go for Mind Control.
Yeah, certainly so. It's a very nice pickup in this one, and I feel like he has a lot of potential to just jump into these engagements without worrying too much about being blown up. He'll take at least one with him, much like Nico does. He can just jump in, doesn't really need to use this BKB for solo picks unless he sees a Bat Rider behind any of these heroes. Neither of them have enough disable to get through one Dark Pact, so he'll be just fine to find these picks more often than not. He's already hit his level 16, which is 2 levels higher than both the Shadow Fiend and the Slardar on the other side.
Nice little lead now for basically Unknown. They're looking at the top lane tier 2. I mean, though they are in the lead, can't underestimate the minus armor synergy right now for XPC. They're doing a lot of damage without having many damage items, and that's really scary if you're Unknown. But this tier 2 tower, I mean, the previous tier 2 towers have been taken rather easily, so I can't imagine this top one will go down with much of a fight. So XPC, they're going to ball up over in mid lane with smoke to boot, and they're going to tail Unknown, although I don't really know if they know about this right now. It's not really going to result in much. They're probably just going to reposition for a tier 2 defense, and this is going to be a fight that I'm pretty sure Unknown are going to be happy to take. They have RP, everything in the world they want. Nico's going to reveal everyone with that Shadow Blade, going to jump right towards cancel. 2-man in the cogs, plus the hookshot as well. Mikelorus going to take them both down, and he will survive afterwards. In the back end, though, they take out Arise with D-Sauce. Pure Evil, looking for that Chain Frost, will throw it towards Keanu, bouncing back towards Illusionist. They'll kill off that 4th hero, and then the Earthshaker as well. They buy back on the mag kind of awkwardly, but that's fine because it's still a 1-for-5 exchange. And what initiation there from Nico and Mind Control, trapping the Slardar and the Shadow Fiend in those cogs. It doesn't get much better than that.
Yeah, maybe throwing a lightning bolt down on your way would have helped out, but Nico being a little bit deep behind enemy lines under the cover of that Shadow Blade, he really secures a great engagement for them. Mind Control been very on point with his hook shots thus far in this one. He's already 7-3-8 on this Clockwork, been involved in 15 and 22 kills, and it's created a lot of space for this Slark to get as big as he is.
Man, that is just such a brutal blow to the side of XPC. That was, I mean, I just said before that it wasn't really that much lead. It's not something that they can't overcome from.
Yeah.
Suddenly that lead is 14k in both Golden Experience after that complete team wipe. And with that tower down, XPC, their map control drops to pretty much minimum levels right now. So Unknown, they have pretty much firm control of this game. They have another 2,000 gold on the Slark, another 16 on the Clockwork. Right now they're looking at Roshan. That's going to be probably the hardest objective for them to take, seeing as though they are up against the Bat Rider. But Slark can very easily go and pick off some random and then go right back into the Roshan pit to rejoin the rest of his team. Rise is going to disconnect for right now. He's very far away, so they can't really start Roshan, but that's really going to be the objective here for BU. Grab the Aegis and then push up the high ground.
Yeah, and they can leave more or less everyone's outside of the pit once they put the Ice Armor and the Bloodlust onto Nico. He's got the BKB and the Shadow Dance, so shouldn't be too worried about getting picked off. I mean, of course, the Lasso is still available to the side of XPC, but if he gets that Shadow Dance off first, should be able to secure Roshan by his lonesome at this point, and everyone else can look to counter-initiate for XPC if they look to jump in and contest that. Other than that, state of the game looks pretty damn good for BU. Rise has picked up his Force Staff in addition to the Blink. The Vlad's has now come out on Mind Control as well to help out some of his melee-heavy lineup. So that's a very nice pickup for them and will allow them to continue to fight early.
And for XPC, they are still working on this BKB on Slardar. That'll certainly help them do a lot more, but it just doesn't seem like that will compare to what the Slark is getting, now 3 levels behind the highest level hero of the game, and level 14 Clockwork, even level 14 on Pure Evil's Lich. Levels looking pretty good for basically Unknown farm, looking similarly. Shadow Fiend has that mech, and it's been doing a decent job for Cancel, but he's also pretty far away from a BKB of his own. In fact, him and the Slardar are sitting at pretty much even as far as their race to the BKBs, and they really, really need that. But even when they grab the BKBs, yeah, you're going to block like Chain Frost and Fire Blast. There's still Hookshot to stun, Nico's outrageous physical damage, and the RP from the mag, all of which goes through it. So XPC, they're waiting for these items, and they're nice items to have, don't get me wrong, but it's not going to completely bail them out. They're still going to be in trouble, even when these BKBs do come up. Are we... what? Rise not important to the team? 4v5?
Okay. Yeah. A little odd. Magnus, easy hero. Arise, really good at it, but easy hero. Either way, Mind Control playing well enough to micro them both, I guess. But yeah, unfortunately, it seems
hard, right?
like
Pure Evil can do it.
Yeah, true, exactly. Just drop a Chain Frost and run away, more or less. So yeah, it looks like the action that shall not be mentioned is being committed on Arise. That's a little bit unfortunate considering the state of the game, but they're still looking pretty good. 2,200 gold on the Ogre, so he's only a K away from a full Aghanims. That's certainly something pretty scary before these BKBs come out and as their duration starts to dwindle down.
Yeah, extra Fire Blasts, and the Ogre has been pretty lucky with his multicast already. He's not really packing the most net worth, but that will certainly give him efficiency for his skills, like equaling that of the Magnus's net worth, let's say. So a lot of potential damage coming out from this Ogre, not just yet, but even if he doesn't, just getting levels for extra points in Bloodlust will guarantee impacts to the team as he just slaps that on Slark, and then you don't immediately call it a day, but that's pretty much what you are angling towards, just Bloodlust and done. Fire Blast Ignite as just an extra bonus there for this Ogre. So this is this is a pretty good game state for basically Unknown to be in, with the exception being the unfortunate lag situation.
Yeah, hopefully something can be solved here sometime soon, whether it be them playing 4v5 or Arise actually getting back into this one. Looks like Mind Control wanting to get back into this one, and see if XPC can agree.
That sucks. Oh man, you hate to see this kind of thing happen. I wish I could figure out who's playing Arise, but I believe when your friendly is disconnected, you cannot buy items from him, you just control his dude.
Yeah.
So this mag is gonna get filthy rich, I'm sure, and he'll just sit on his money.
He'll hit Mushi status at some point. 6K in his pockets. No reason to purchase items, but either way, hopefully, I guess they're on a bit of a timer here from the side of XPC. Nico still has quite an advantage at this point. Maybe looking to find another free kill on Illusionist top. Won't be able to do so, though. No Basher available to him, and he'll just reveal himself and start to farm up the wave.
So maybe Arise is now just a walking empower machine? Like, that's so very easy to execute, and Unknown, they're far ahead, but I don't know if this lead is still from... Can you still win from this position with 4v5? It really depends on how well their micro is, right? Like, who's their secondary mag player?
Yeah, hopefully they have a Meepo player on the team. But yeah, as you mentioned, I mean, Pure Evil just needs to like pop a mech, throw some preliminary ice armors on, and throw a Chain Frost out, and hopefully he can control up the Magnus. Nico going to look to find a pick off and even the numbers up effectively 4v4 if he's able to do so. The vision will be there at perfect timing though from Kiano. He will try to take him down. Does have the BKB still available. He's going to get lassoed up though and probably brought down. The Requiem is here. Nico takes a dominating streak and hands it over to Cancel's SF. And that's going to be a big detriment to BU after losing their Magnus.
Super greedy play from that Slark. I could understand looking for those types of kills, except for once you're spotted by the lightning bolt, you no longer look for that type of kill. You don't get the element of surprise. You're forced to use that pounce to try to randomly connect, and it's a hard skill to land from that far away. You don't get the extra damage from breaking the invis, and XPC, of course, have a couple of moments to react to you. So the Slark now down for 40. I guess it's going to give someone, or it's going to let the Magnus be controlled by someone. But still, XPC off of that pick are going to go right into the Roche pit. With the amount of minus armor they have, Roshan might not last very long. The dream is still here for RP and Chain Frost. XPC are rather clumped up, and they're all spotted as well. Mag is going to be spotted as well. Hookshot in. Mind Control is going to whiff, actually. it went right between them. It would have hit onto Roshan, I think. Blink forward for Dumpster player, looking for an RP and gets forced out the wrong way. However, now the Aegis is claimed. He has to secure himself out, and now everyone from basically known they're on the run. Red Light is going to chase down Pure Evil. I think that Lish doesn't have much of a hope. The rest of the heroes are going to be just fine. It looks like it's just Pure Evil to fall, but still it's Aegis, and they dodged a really bad fight, XPC. And I'm pretty sure Arise wouldn't have made that play if he was actually here.
Yeah, very, very rough. Coming out from BU here, a little bit unfortunate from them. Good game sense from XPC to know with Nico down that they can run into that Roche pit with their amp damage and take him pretty quickly. 2,500 experience to the 4 heroes minus Slardar of the XPC side just for that Slark kill, and it also gave the BKB over to cancel. So things looking pretty scary with him with a BKB and a second life now.
Man, this is not exactly how you want a game to progress off of a disconnected player, but down towards bottom, mind control. Actually, Crush failed. Red Light's still going to get that one out. BKB is up for him, so taking no damage from his Blade Mail. Clockwork not taking that much damage either. Hook shots himself outside the cog, but there's a fissure waiting for him. Dumpster player has arrived, looking for an RP angle. Will throw it, but gets canceled by a Crush. Nico's going to look to cut off Red Light, and it will be enough to take him down. And now chasing forward for the secondary kill, it's going to be onto Illusionist. You got to TP out of this one, I think, if you're Shaker. He's going to bring them right to cancel, but here comes the RP onto 2. Daz is going to come right back in, going to shackle up Nico, but the damage isn't quite enough. He has the ultimate as well. He will pop that one, kill off the Shadow Fiend, now pounce up the Bat Rider as well. Where are the rest of Unknown's heroes? They're going to come in a little bit late. They're going to RP, or actually skewer back the Shadow Fiend. Keanu's going to be there with the bolt. Nico is going to have to retreat right now, get a little bit of regen time. Pure Evil going to throw his ultimate. Will bounce through mostly neutrals, however. Keanu is taking some damage. Nico going to reinitiate on him. One more tap will do it. There it is. Going to claim himself a double. Finds double damage as well. They're going to get the stun onto cancel. Have another one available as well. 4 times Fire Blasts. And it's going to be a complete team wipe in favor of basically Unknown, but it does cost them 4 heroes of their own. It's a 4 for 5 trade with Nico being the sole survivor.
Yeah, 4 for 5 plus Aegis, so definitely still a good fight for BU. That was probably the most unfortunate Chain Frost I've seen in a very long time. If they get even one lucky bounce, the Zeus dies and Nico doesn't have to go chase him down. He can actually look to fight up against the SF. But either way, still ends up being a good engagement for them. Nico gonna run up mid lane. He's not gonna be able to get any structural damage off of this. Does have a double damage rune though, so if someone overextends a bit, could be a little bit dangerous.
And then now Nico has his Eye of Scotty after surviving that fight. But not only that, Scotty also 2,700 gold in the bank. It was really weird to see Unknown so slow to come in to help their allies. But by the time they actually did come in, it was fine. The Arise Magnus player, I don't even know who it is, but landed a 2-man RP, and that was just good enough to actually give them that fight. So maybe that's why Unknown were a little bit slow incoming. It doesn't matter right now because still their Slark is getting out of control. He's leading the net worth by quite a comfortable margin. But still with this disconnected player, Unknown, they have to try to end the game sooner than later.
Yeah, definitely so. And the BKBs are going to start to come out of plenty for XPC. So it's going to be harder and harder to lock them down for the Slark to actually continue to right-click away on them. Slardar has his, SF has his, and the Bat Rider already working on his as well. DSAS picking up a gem in addition to that. So going to look to choke out the Unknown from the map. Of course, they do have the Slark though, so can look to start dewarding with the passive. Looks like we may see Arise getting back into the game.
And he's going to arrive with, I think, 900 more gold than he started with. So that's pretty cool for Arise. You disconnect, come back, you're richer. That's pretty sweet. And I'm sure he knows more or less what's going on. Probably still was on Skype or TeamSpeak or whatever with his teammates. But hey, we actually have a full 5-on-5. Could you imagine a 5-on-5 fair game of Dota?
Yeah, hopefully now they are able to look to press their advantage. 12k in the way of both metrics, about from previously about 15k in advantage of BU. A nice little set of engagements coming out from XPC, but the last one, big RP from Arise's Ghost, securing them a nice little win. And Nico surviving is a big deal, as you mentioned. 3,500 gold on his person at this point, so maybe even builds quickly into a butterfly, and then all this physical damage from the Slardar and the SF, not quite as scary.
Shadow Fiend is building up towards what looks like an Eye of Scotty. Slardar has an Assault Cuirass or Plate Mail item in his sights. That means they're going to be going for items that are not MKB. Now it looks like Slark is actually going to grab the Basher. That's fine as well. I would have liked to see the faster Butterfly come up on him, simply because you get value guaranteed out of your evasion up towards top. Pure Evil going to get jumped by a duo of Shaker and Batrider, but Nico maybe not going to let his ally die for free. Yeah, he's not going to go in. Yeah, Butterfly definitely would have been pretty sweet to have, since you do get that additional damage, but hey, Basher is never bad either, and if you get a fast Abyssal Blade, that could also do some serious work, maybe even more work than a Butterfly.
Yeah, because they do have these 2 BKBs and a third on the way from the side of XPC, so certainly Abyssal Blade can pay dividends here, and I don't mind that pickup. Would have liked to see the Butterfly, as you mentioned, it's just a little more effective the earlier you pick it up, as MKBs start to come out at some point for the side of XPC, but either way, will be a nice item to have, and Basher for now at least gives him a way to cancel TPs when he's out on his own.
So Mind Control has 3,800 gold. I didn't realize that this clock was so filthy rich. Probably like a similar build to the Slardar for the clockwork, like a plate mail item or something.
Yeah, I mean, I'd hope to see an Aghanims, just because there's all these BKBs. It'd be nice to have that really short cooldown on the 12-second cooldown on the hook shot. But yeah, I mean, it doesn't really matter what he build. He could even build into a Hex. That would be nice. A Shiva's Guard as well. Anything to mitigate some of this physical damage would be nice, aside from the Aghanims.
All right, well, bottom line, whatever he does pick up is going to be a really expensive item. If you grab like a medallion right now, I'm going to be so disappointed. But either way, they're going to stake out the enemy jungle, whereas XPC going to back up all the way into their base. There's no Aegis advantage anymore, and everyone has pretty much all their spells up. Nico is going to consistently be on the hunt, but we remember what happened last time he tried to do something like this. He's definitely a little bit in a better position right now because he has allies behind him, but not that closely behind him. Pure Evil is pretty far away still, and he's farming up for an Aghanim Scepter, it looks like.
Yeah, it seems to be the case, and would do a lot of work, I guess, for this fight, especially if they get off the RP, as you mentioned earlier. That would certainly be the dream, and now with Arise playing one of his most comfortable heroes, that should be a very likely possibility. He has picked up a Mithril Hammer of his own, so we'll have a BKB, allow him to get off the RP a little bit more reliably. Nico going to pounce up to the high ground, going to get stuck for the next 5 seconds, but should be okay.
Oh no, Arise, are you gone again? No, please. Please.
GG.
Guys, pack it up. We're going home. Game's over. You don't gotta go home, but you can't stay here. Well, Magnus is right around the corner from the Batrider. That's a big kill if he could somehow connect, but everyone there involved there has Blink Force Staff, so the odds of that happening pretty darn low. Ugh. Man, this is just the worst. Like, I don't even want to watch a game that's 4v5.
It's very unfortunate, and it's pretty unfair for the side of BU, who played this early game very well.
Dude, this Blackbeard guy is just so committed to his pirate things. But, okay, so now, with the... Oh, wait, that's also going to happen. Ogre Magi is going to die. I don't think that pause really impacted anything. He was revealed by the Thunder God's Wrath, and then he was brought down shortly thereafter.
Fisher block in.
Yeah, so it's a casualty for Unknown. Nico also potentially going to get jumped. There is a lasso right now, and he just uses Pact. However, a Pounce will clear him out of that area. Do XPC really want to just aggressively push the mid lane with this? Like, you have a numbers advantage, although Cancel going to get jumped by Nico with the Basher there. Cancel, even his BKB form can't do too much. BKB goes up now on Nico, making him fissure-proof. He's going to pounce forward and RP, connecting onto only Cancel, but hey, that's a kill nonetheless. Can't expect that much better from a player who's not there. Force Staff over the high ground from Illusionist. Okay, he was TPing there. I didn't see the animation, but Earthshaker is going to get out of there free and clear a minute without the Shadow Fiend. Now Unknown have a chance to make some sort of play.
Yeah, RP is down, but it's definitely well worth forcing the buyback here, I think. And it was worth the RP to bring down Cancel at this point. He only has the BKB, is building into a Scotty, but slowing that timing up certainly very worth it, and giving Nico the kill even bigger at this point. 3,500 gold on the Slark, 300 away from his Relic if he doesn't want to save for buyback.
And I don't think you really need buyback right now for Unknown. It's nice to have for sure, but the impacts of Abyssal, especially when you know you're going up against a couple of BKB heroes, 2 at the least with a third coming up in the bat, you just buy out for that item. The Clockwork has also picked up an Assault Cuirass, so more damage is going to get more efficient now for basically Unknown, and, well, Mag can't get his item, so that's kind of relevant now. It's a little bit sad, but so it goes, I suppose. Slark is pretty much the only hope right now for basically unknown. He has to go off by himself, and right now he might run into an illusionist. Earthshaker is going to... looks like he's going to be fine, actually.
Yeah, he'll continue to farm up the mid lane. This will reveal his Abyssal Blade if he's been pinged down, and it looks like he was by cancel there. So top lane, Pure Evil is going to get caught out to red light, needs a bash, will get it. And the Flame Break actually going to be there to kill secure for DSAS. He's still quite a ways away from his, about 500 gold away from his BKB though, but still a nice pickup nonetheless.
Lich down, Mag now has someone controlling him, I'm sure, but yeah, that's kind of an awkward position for a Lich to be in. Like, without any allies there, usually you would expect that to be bait, but he clearly was just there all alone, so pushing that one out, no one expects the split pushing Lich, and XPC call that bluff, and they kill him off in a hurry. Still, Nico is approaching a 6-slotted status, however. You ship out the Hand of Midas eventually, you replace the Shadow Blade, probably Butterfly, maybe a little bit of lifesteal for him, but once he's 6-slotted, Unknown, because they only have 4 players who could actually spend gold, have such a lower skill, or lower gold cap than ordinarily they will.
Yeah, and they have a lower ceiling as well, and they will not be able to continue to upgrade, of course, at that point, which gives both Cancel as well as Red Light a lot of time to catch up. Nico's going to look to wrap around with the Shadow Blade here, and he may find Illusionist, but DSAS waiting with a lasso ready. He's actually going to blink out to the east, though, so his blink is going to be on cooldown, can't reinitiate, and the Abyssal Blade is going to secure the kill onto the Earthshaker.
Keanu also deep in the trees. Looks like he's going to hide in the fire area, and he's going to blink out free and clear. Tower was destroyed by the Dire, so no deny coming out there from BU. Shaker down, however, Nico was forced to use a BKB charge for it. Dwindling in duration, so it's not going to bother him too much, but Roshan is up, and conveniently for basically Unknown, there's a double damage rune there as well. So this Roshan is going to feel the brunt of more than 500 damage a pop from Nico with bashes. Wait, lots of his damage has appeared. Okay, they have the Vlads nearby, but when they do, yeah, he does a lot of damage. He's going to very easily clear this one out, intel or not from the XPC.
Pure Evil going to get caught out above the pit, gets a Chain Frost off as he goes down, only bounces twice. A little bit of a consolation prize going XPC's way for feeding over Roshan, or giving away a free Roshan to BU. But now Nico on the run with an extra life. Is looking for blood, and the Radiant Vision does scout out Cancel. This will be a big kill, and certainly a high ground push if they bring down the SF. He does have buyback, however.
Abyssal is there. DD still ticking away on Nico. He's going to BKB up. RP is there from the Arise bot, but Nico's going to claim that kill anyway, and Red Light has just got to book it. It's a free kill for the Slark, and though it does cost them an RP, again, when you're working a player down, you pretty much guarantee kills when you can get them. You don't look for the miracle 5-man. But is that kill with the Aegis going to be enough for them to push up high ground, or do you think they need to wait for an RP to have that capacity?
Yeah, with a full 5-man squad, I feel like it would be alright, but without the Lich here, no ice armor for Nico, no Chain Frost, it's going to be a little bit dicey. Nico is going to clear out the wave, and maybe they're going to prep for a push, or at least to force a buyback, but it certainly will be a little bit of risky for the Radiant side.
They're going to split push mid, they're going to split push top, and they're going to do what they can to make sure XPC take a fight where they're going to be off balance. But Slark, because he's gone for Shadow Blade, not Blink, is a lot weaker in these types of situations. Can't very easily jump in and assassinate his targets. Nico's going to take some preliminary damage to start things off. Mind Control initiation is going to be key here for basically Unknown if they're actually going to get away with this. But they don't have to. They back off, get some darkness on Nico, and they're going to think that he's revealed, but he's not. Okay, juice up to full HP in a matter of seconds. Hard to Tarrasque, eat your heart out, and then go for round 2. But this time XPC, they're ready to have their Shadow Fiend alive. DSAS is going to be ready to lasso in Nico as well, and he has to be pretty much perfectly on point with his packed usage. Keanu up on north is going to throw some lightning, but the tower is already down. And Unknown, are they okay with that? Or are they going to go for more?
Well, he's jumping up to go for a D-ward here. Nico's going to jump in. He won't latch the pounce, though, onto cancel. The BKBs are popped up plenty. Abyssal Blade is available, though. Nico not even going to use it because he gets lassoed up, and the TP out from cancel should be successful, but that's going to bring him out of the fray. Abyssal out onto Illusionist with the Shadow Dance there. Brings down the Earthshaker, and now Nico just going to throw a Rise Bot in the front lines and look to take down these structures. But they've actually backed off to the west, and they're going to find the Slardar. Now DSauce just trying to clean up the wave. It's going to be a little too late, I believe, for these Raxes.
Yeah, with Slardar having no buyback, Nico is taking a lot of heat, but he still has that Aegis. The RP wasn't the best, but it was just good enough for basically Unknown. Now they're going to reinitiate Ogre Magi, throwing some multicast towards the Shadow Fiend. They'll pop the Aegis, but Cancel's going to get hit out of his Requiem with the Chain Frost of all things. I don't know if that was completely necessary, but they take Raxes regardless. And Mag is the only one to die, so no one has to bother controlling him. Nico also has a Butterfly incoming, and they also have enough time to go for the secondary set. A minute where the Shadow Fiend is dead. They're going to, at the very least, force a buyback here. They know at this point the Slaughter does not have a buyback. However, Clockwork caught in the skies will be lassoed back. Firefly's there, but Nico's damage is insane. It's a 1-for-1. Evenly put there, and Mind Control is just going to straight buy out. Nico is still a menace right now. He's so farmed. He's not taking any damage. He has lost his Aegis since the beginning of the fight, but now they're up a set of Raxes, and now hook shot in. No, that wasn't the hook shot, was it? I thought I heard a hook shot, but yeah. Nico is still going to just go right up to the high ground, chip away, back off, regen, rinse, repeat forever. And XPC now have 52 seconds before they're at full capacity, whereas basically Unknown, their mag, well, he's going to be walking out here soon enough. Has BKB and money enough for it, but can't quite buy that one yet. Nico's going to clear out another tier 3 tower for the team. And Unknown, even if they don't take Raxes, are getting so much further ahead. Once the True Sight drops, then Nico's going to initiate right onto Illusionist. Lots of damage there. However, lots of damage returned back to him. He's going to jump right into his ultimate form with the Chain Frost bouncing through. Everyone XPC just has to run. They get the Abyssal Flyby onto the cancel, and with the Clockwork hookshot in, they'll kill him off. Illusionist also is going to fall. It's a triple kill for Nico, and Keanu can do nothing but watch his allies die. GG 4v5. No problem for basically Unknown. They take the game anyway.
Yeah, very strong showing from Nico and from the rest of his squad, giving him a lot of space early on, and really good control up from Mind Control and from Arise and whoever was controlling him. So well played from them, straddling the boundaries of life and death there, and really knowing exactly when they can use their pickoffs and to commit their big cooldowns just to find kills on solo heroes as long as they were important ones.
Alright guys, this is a best of 3, but seeing as though there have been some connection issues, I have no idea if the rest of the series is going to be continued right now. I will keep you guys updated in the chat, but outside of that, we hope you guys have been enjoying the casting and the Yard G2A festival just thus far. I'm Mikelorus. If you enjoyed my casting, follow me at Mikelorus on Twitter. My co-caster at MRP_Dota. Same exact thing for him. And hopefully we'll be back for Game 2, although no promises, because you don't really want to start a game 4v5. So we'll be potentially right back, guys.